And thanks for staying with us here on Morning Live. And as I said earlier, SABC on a drive and focusing on the humanitarian crisis that has been brought about by COVID-19. Now, looking at, some of the good and, of course, the bad, but honing in on a good news story now. The dire homelessness situation in South Africa has touched a young social entrepreneur and fashion designer from the Netherlands so much that he decided to start a Sheltersuit, I should say, which is an organization to manufacture products to provide immediate shelter for those who sleep on the streets. And this program takes women off the streets and also teaches them skills to become seamstresses that make these shelter bags, which are portable. They are waterproof tents which roll up into a bag. And according to Sheltersuit South Africa, these bags are then distributed to homeless people. Bas Timmer, who is a fashion designer and the founder of Shelterbag South Africa, joins us now to talk more about this project. Thanks so much for your time. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
So, Bas, tell us, you've started this program earlier this year. How many homeless people have you helped since then?
Well, we've helped almost 2,000 homeless people in South Africa, but in total we've helped almost 12,000 homeless people all across Europe, the United States, and in the refugee camps in Greece.
And that's fantastic work because, one's heart always goes out to those who are on the streets, who don't have shelter. And now you've come up with this very innovative shelter bag. But explain to us exactly what this bag is and how it works.
Well, it is like a duffel bag that you can wear on your back, and it's very lightweight. And if you take off that duffel bag, you open two clips. You roll it out and it becomes a mattress with a waterproof shelter on top of it. So you can lay inside of it on top of this mattress, and you have a very big hood with a pillow inside. So it's completely waterproof, and you can, when you sleep in it, you feel very comfortable and you're warm and dry. And when you need to move, because, for instance, the police says that you need to go away or there's some other trouble on the streets, you can get out of it and roll it up very easy, click it and put it on your back again. And that's the shelter bag.
And it sounds, like something that has been long overdue, and it's great that you've actually come up with this, Bas. And the history behind shelter bags, how did you come up with this very innovative design? Because it sounds absolutely fabulous.
Well, I am a fashion designer, and 6 years ago, the father of two of my friends, who was homeless, he died on the streets due to hypothermia. And I felt guilty that I was making these warm protective clothes and I was selling it to my friends, while people on the streets were dying because they didn't have proper clothing. So I designed a shelter suit, which is like a jacket with an attachable sleeping bag, and it's very warm. It's made for the Netherlands. And we started there, and I handed out this first shelter suit, and because of the positive reaction of the homeless people, I continued. And I also saw that in countries like South Africa, where it's a bit more warmer, there's also a need for products like these. So I went to my studio and I designed a new product, which is the shelter bag. And that's the product we are now making in South Africa. And the good thing is that we can make this on a bigger scale than the shelter suit in the Netherlands, because in South Africa the materials are a bit cheaper and the labor costs are a bit cheaper, and we're able to produce this now for 600 Rand.
And Bas, also importantly, I understand you actually get women off the streets by training them to become seamstresses who make these shelter bags. Talk to us about that as well, please.
We started in the Netherlands with our social factory, where we employ Syrian refugees. We give them a job and a salary, and we also teach them skills to be a part of society again. And we copied exactly that to South Africa. Only we are now also working with former homeless women. We've partnered up with a big shelter called The Ark. It's in Cape Town. And there are people that really could use some help in having a salary and also learning new skills. So we have a whole program around that, where the women teach new skills and are working together in a group to make these shelter bags. And the response of these women are just fantastic, because when you don't have much, it's always very hard to help people. but we are now able they are now able to help people. So the response of the people behind the sewing machines is just fantastic, and I'm really proud of the people in our factory.
And right now, Bas, this project is in Cape Town. Any plans to branch out into the rest of the country?
Yes, absolutely. We have a general manager. Her name is Lynn. She's working very hard to also set up different pods across South Africa. So if you want to join our movement, please reach out to Lynn. That can be by email, like lynn@sheltersuit.com. You can also go to our website and visit us there. We are completely dependent on donations, so we are contacting non-profits, big funds to help us to make these bags, because we need the money to pay the women behind the sewing machine. So if anybody wants to help us set up pods across South Africa or buy shelter bags to help their homeless neighbors, please contact us.
Indeed, and as you say, the funding aspect of it is also very important. Where are you currently getting the funding from to sustain, especially the South African leg of Shelterbag, Bas?
It started at Design Indaba. Our first seed funding was donated by Ravi Naidu from Design Indaba. He donated 250 shelter bags at once. And when I did my presentation, I asked the people in the audience of Design Indaba if they would like to donate some shelter bags. And Woolworths donated hundreds of shelter bags. Mercedes donated hundreds of shelter bags. And then all the people from the audience, regular people, all donated one shelter bag. And that made this movement of people willing to help other people. So we are now receiving donations from all across South Africa, small and sometimes a little bit bigger. People ordering the shelter bags for their own shelters. So shelters now come to us like, hey, can I buy 10 shelter bags for 6,000 rand? And then we say, yes, of course, and we send it to them. So it's a bit of a mixed financing model.
Well, Bas, thank you so much. And, this is such an important initiative. And do keep us abreast of developments, especially with regard to the South African leg of this. Bas Timmer is a fashion designer and the founder of Shelterbag South Africa, talking to us about his work to create jobs and, of course, shelter for homeless people. And as he said, you can go onto the website if you'd like to get involved in any meaningful way. Get in touch with us if you need further details on this. Let's take